10:05. Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Coming up at 10:35, Sky Stracer of SS Outfitters, Highway 114 near Levelland, will join us in studio right now. It's been a while since we've had a Tepper tantrum on the program.
It's time. I've got a lot of pent-up anger.
Why? Why do you have anger? It's Carl Tepper, everybody.
It's the holidays. Isn't that the point of the holidays?
No, it's supposed to be,
okay.
merry and bright.
Oh, yeah, merry and bright. Okay.
Yeah. Unless you're a Democrat right now, and then you're not too happy about your choices.
No, I haven't been on because I don't have a lot of pent-up anger. I've turned off cable news.
Yeah. See, that's good for you, right?
I've
the best.
Completely turned it off. I watch a little Fox and Friends on the weekends. You know, they do a lot of human interest stories and military stuff, and I get my news from Chad Hasty and Rush Limbaugh. That's it.
That's all you need.
It makes me feel pretty good. Rush makes you feel good about impeachment.
I mean, listen, and Rush was talking about this a while back. I've talked about it for a while. Rush doesn't watch cable news. I stopped watching cable news probably about a year and a half ago or so because it could beat you down.
Yeah,
if you just stay on it all day.
I watch the Hallmark Channel now. I watch holiday.
You've done a 180.
Holiday movies at a Hallmark Channel. I noticed a little theme where there's always
bad acting.
Okay, and there's a lot of like hooking up in Hallmark movies.
Really?
There's always like this cute girl and a good-looking guy, and there's some sort of
they're just like Harlequin,
like
romance
teenage
novels.
angst. You know, are they going to hook up or not? Their business. Somebody works too hard in business. They move out to the country, and something happens, and they find romance and love and a Merry Christmas.
You're going to be filling in for me while I'm gone. You should absolutely do like your countdown of the best Hallmark movies.
The best Hallmark movies. I saw one about some department store in Chicago.
Yeah,
I had the fire pit on in the backyard. I got a TV in the backyard, and there was some kind of retail's doing bad, and the Chicago big department store is going to close. And,
oh, no.
The cute girl is an undercover reporter, and she has a romance with the lead, and they save the department store. It's fantastic. I love it.
Who is this Carl Tepper?
I don't know. Who is that man?
Who is this?
It was almost as good as The Sound of Music.
We're going to have to stop calling this the Tepper tantrum and just call it like the Tepper Hallmark Hour.
The Hallmark Hour.
Yeah, the Hallmark Hour with Tepper. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you.
I've been watching, listening to Limbaugh, and all I know is somebody's trying to impeach someone out there.
Yeah.
And
for any reason possible.
I caught the KFYO news this morning, and I guess unemployment is 3.2 or so, 3.5%.
All I know, it's the lowest in 50 years.
So yeah, we better get rid of this. We better get rid of them. Better get rid of Trump.
Things are horrible out there. 266,000 jobs added, and in November, and they only expected 187,000 jobs added. I mean, this is just. And listen, the president, and I'm not one who believes that a president himself is creating all these jobs, but a president and his administration can set the tone and set the environment for job growth. And I think that's what we continue to see.
Yeah, consumer confidence. He set the tone. And we also talked about off air. So I'm not paying attention to the Democratic nominees or race, I guess, the candidates. And so I guess you said Pete Buttigieg is the flavor of the month.
Yeah,
Buttigieg, Gig, Judge, and I can't think of a better. I can't think of a better nominee. I mean, he's going to push. He's not popular with black voters, from my understanding.
Not at all. Not at all.
Black unemployment is at record lows.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a black listener out there, welcome to the Republican Party.
We've had
with open arms. I'm not kidding around. Come on, and I think
have you seen the polling numbers
Trump,
that show
Trump has like
around
30-something, 35, 1/3 of black voters. He has very positive. I don't know if they're going to show up to the polls for him, or maybe they'll stay home. What's keeping you guys? We are the party of Lincoln and Abilene. Call in 1-800-687-0790. if you're a black voter, you're not buying this Republican stuff, you don't get it, call in and tell me what's going on, because what else do we need to do?
Yeah. Listen, I think that you are seeing almost an awakening in all minority communities, that the Democrats are just using people, and that's it. And I can't tell you how many articles I've seen and editorials that I've seen that are saying just that okay, that the editorial's like, okay, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, you keep on saying that you need us and you're going to do this, but you've promised this for years and years and years and years and years, and you don't deliver. You never deliver. You use us and then forget about us. And I keep seeing those articles pop up.
And I mean, I've heard people say, well, I've heard Wall Street guys say, I vote Democrat. Somebody's got to look out for the little guy because I've seen what happens here on Wall Street and everything. But they're not looking. How is that going to make it better? They could care less about you. They'll say they love you.
Yeah.
In the Republican Party, we pretty much say you're on your own. I mean, low taxes, low regulation, but
yeah,
at least you've got a chance on your own. We're not going to take more of your stuff and waste it.
All about the family.
At least we're going to try to let you keep it. We're bad too in some ways, but somebody said the other day to make themselves feel better at a dinner that, they're all this, they're extreme on both sides. Really? I'm extreme as a Republican. I'm for less taxes, less regulation. That's how extreme I am.
Yeah.
I mean, social issues, I'm pro-life, big deal. What makes me, don't make yourself feel better by placing blame on both sides and having that elitist sort of attitude that I'm above it all and I don't trust any of them. Well, I get that. But I mean, I'm certainly not the extreme one. I'm for less taxes, less regulation, strong national defense. The government should fix the roads. Just keep it at that. They don't even do that very well.
Let's go to the phones real quick. Carl, get some headphones. You're coming in here spouting off about the Hallmark Channel. You don't even have any headphones out.
I don't. I've given
You're
up.
You're a professional at this, Carl.
I've given up on cable TV and headphones.
Oh, my goodness. Let's go to the phones real quick. Bobby, real quick. You're on KFYO.
Hey, I can tell you exactly what. I don't know anybody's carrying a big enough pair to do it, but go to the LBJ library where he's talking about the Civil Rights Act and talking about we've got the N-words forever. Make several spots on that, run it on all the urban stations, and see what happens. Somebody in the Republican Party has to grow a pair. It's over.
Bobby, thank you.
I didn't know Bobby was black. Is Bobby black?
No, Bobby's not.
We told black guys to
call
in. Okay.
We accept everybody to call in on this show.
I've been to the LBJ Museum. Who wrote those books? Robert Caro, I think, wrote the books on LBJ. Very famous, volumes of books on LBJ. Expecting to find the great, civil rights leader, on the white side, I guess, and the Democratic side, and LBJ could care less about civil rights. He just knew it was the future, and he was right. I mean, he was politically savvy and somehow brought a lot of black voters over to the Democratic side, and it's hurt. I believe it's hurt them and this country for 60 years now, 70 years. And really, hey, black voters, I beg you, come to the Republican Party. We'd love to see you. Come on over.
All right, let's take the break. When we come back, let's talk about homelessness. Let's talk about the Salvation Army and maybe more Hallmark movies. I don't know. Hallmark Carl.
Love it.
Over here on the Chad Hasty Show.
It's Christmas, baby. Bring them on.
We'll be right back. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Carl Tepper, Hallmark Carl, on the Chad Hasty Show.
It's Meatloaf and Weird Al on a Friday morning. Two names I haven't heard in quite some time.
Ruckus probably won't like Meatloaf either.
Too bad, Ruckus. I can't believe he's
it's just very sad that he said that.
I was in one of the spirit shops down by campus, and they were playing some Pat Benatar, at lunchtime, and everybody's rocking out in the store. And
yeah.
I said, that's kind of cool. You're playing a little Pat Benatar, and the little girl said, we love the oldies here. And it broke my heart,
Yeah, that makes you feel kind of rough.
I think I'm still so young and hip. It's just not happening anymore.
Young and hip and watching Hallmark. Carl,
Let's do this. You want to do this?
I want to ask you, you were part of a committee, or right. I guess the committee is still formed, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had our final meeting on Tuesday. We voted on a final draft.
So what committee were you a part of, and what happened?
It was I'm not even sure what the official name was, the Mayor's Select Committee on Homelessness.
Okay.
It was really spearheaded by is it councilman? Councilwoman Latrell Joy.
I use councilwoman.
Councilman.
Yeah, it's 2019. I'm not real sure.
Latrell Joy.
You got to be careful.
It's mankind, right? Councilman.
Yeah.
It can. Councilman is fine. You can
sounds
say
better. But anyway, and David Langston co-chaired. David and I don't agree on a lot of politics together. Former Mayor Langston, but we agreed a lot on this committee because he's having to deal with it. He offices downtown in one of the big law firms. And of course, any downtown situation anywhere in America now, you've got just a big swath of homelessness. It's like land. The what is that show? The Walking Dead, The Living Dead,
Walking Dead,
the zombie show, and that's what it's like in a lot of American cities now. And from Seattle to L.A. to New York and San Francisco. I understand that the water in California off the beaches in L.A. is the EPA's declared it poisonous. I mean, unsafe to swim in.
Wow.
I think the L.A. River, a lot of movies have been filmed there, from Grease to Terminator and all that. There are big, giant homeless camps all over. All that stuff, all that defecation is ending up in the wastewater lines and the sewer lines, and it's all ending out into the Pacific Ocean, and so the water's gotten poisoned. That's how bad it is. And we all know that San Francisco has maps of human waste. So, obviously Lubbock's a little different. We're not as big, and we don't want it to get that way.
Yeah.
Even to our scale.
Yeah.
So, and we're obviously a little more conservative. I would argue we're even more compassionate than a lot of places. We have a church on every corner, and the churches have been feeding the homeless to the point where we've got diabetes running rampant in the homeless population. So, what to do? A lot of groups, the Salvation Army, have stopped just sort of warehousing people in the 1950s, after 100 years of dealing with that. Now we're 160 years, I think. Have learned better. We do not enable. We will give you emergency help for up to 3 nights. Now, if you get a job and you need more time at one of our shelters, we're happy to give it. Show us your pay stub and you're getting up for work every morning.
Is it transitional housing?
We do some transitional. We'll do emergency sheltering for longer if we see there's going to be a change, but besides that, you got to either get a job or find something else to do, because we're not just going to enable you.
Right.
Which has been controversial in some sectors. We've got different organizations around town. I actually like Tent City to a point where, if you can't be at the Salvation Army, I don't want you at my park. I want to use my park. Then you can go to Tent City and hang out there, I guess, and all the churches can feel better and feed everyone out there. But the trouble is, of course, you have to have rules there. So a lot of the homeless haven't been happy there anymore. So now they're back, living behind the 7-Eleven. So what are we going to do in Lubbock? And essentially, I'm not going to read the document on the air. I think they want to present it to council before it's, quite public and the final draft isn't out. But, essentially it's like, in Lubbock, we're going to, bullet point A, we're going to enforce the law on the books. Bullet point B, any laws we don't have, we'll institute. If we need a better curfew law or something, and I think the citizens of Lubbock are going to like that wording. And then finally, the draft goes into, we'd love to help the homeless. We'd love to coordinate with Texas Tech and the nonprofits and the faith-based groups and the police department. But first, we're going to go ahead and enforce the laws that we have on the books. And
have we not? Have we not been doing that?
That was a debate.
Which laws were we not enforcing?
It seems like there might be some. I couldn't get a clear answer on that. There are some loitering laws on the books. There are curfews at the parks. Maybe the police are looking away at some of this. Maybe they're not. I'm not sure. And if you're police, call in anonymously if you want, and let us know that there's some division in the police force about the HOT team, the homeless. What is that? The
homeless outreach.
Homeless outreach team and the line officer. Whose side are you on? Are you giving too much sympathy to the homeless and forgetting about, the taxpayer downtown? I was very vocal in wanting to structure the goal of the group is about the safety of the general public. It's not about the homeless. I mean, they made their choices. and they have their issues. But if it comes between me using Mackenzie Park or them using Mackenzie Park, I choose me.
Yeah.
If it becomes between a crack den or me and my horse, I choose me and my horse. Sorry. And it's the same with my business, and it's the same with my home.
Yeah.
So I think we approached it from that angle. Now, if we get to help the homeless somewhere along the line while also helping ourselves, great.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. But
there's nothing in this document saying like, well, let's be like Austin and buy some hotels. And
there was some housing first wording, which I'm the Salvation Army is not that thrilled with the housing first efforts.
What is that?
Build a place and stick them in it.
Okay.
Essentially, buy a hotel and build a duplex, put them in there, get them in, give them whatever, and get them off the street. Mm-hmm. I'm actually sympathetic to a point about that. The trouble is, it ends up. I was reading an email today by a neighbor from the South Overton Park District who's just so frustrated about the promise for something. One of the homeless housing developments on the backside of Broadway, where it's become another zombie sort of city back there, and the homeless are invading the businesses on Broadway, the neighborhood there, and downtown. So it's really stifled some of the efforts down there.
Talking about Salvation Army, we've got a couple minutes left in this segment. Bell ringing still going on, and
yeah, it's one of those years. I think every other year is a shortened Christmas season. So register to ring.com. We need volunteer bell ringers. We're a week shorter. This is where we raise all of our money for all the great programs. And of course, our programs aren't just homeless. They're about helping first responders at brush fires and tornadoes and all kinds of things. We try to get to people's physical needs to get to their spiritual needs. We're a mission, we're a faith-based organization trying to win hearts for Christ. But if you're inspired by that at all, please volunteer to ring at Cabela's or Dillard's. Any of the Walmarts or Market Streets around town are great retail partners, and they're usually 2-hour shifts. Register to ring.com. It's the easiest registration I've ever seen. Pick a shift, and I have a blast doing it. All the neighbors always come by and talk for a while, and people are real friendly.
Yeah, you always post on Facebook, where you're at.
I always post. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to be at Hobby Lobby tomorrow, 10 to noon. Come by and say hi. Margaret Thatcher, the dog, will be with me.
Oh.
She loves ringing, and I'll have Peter Griffith will be with me too. He rings on the other side.
Do all of you, because I know you can, drop change, you can drop cash. Do all of you have card readers, or is that just select?
So now we've got some select card readers. If you see the thing hanging on the kettle, looks like a card reader box.
Yeah.
If you dip, we call it dipping. If you dip the card, it just charges $10. You don't have to put a pin or anything. Just dip the card. $10 comes to the local core, the Lubbock core of the Salvation Army, and it's really easy and brainless to do.
All right. Do you want to address this real quick? This guy Tepper makes a lot of sense. Why doesn't he run for mayor?
I know who wrote that. If you think you're being cute, I know who you are. That's a really bad idea, obviously, for very obvious reasons all over town. So thanks, Chad. I appreciate the time.
Hey, anytime, Carl. Have a good weekend. Carl's going to be sitting in for me a couple of days in later this month around Christmas time. Talk about his favorite Hallmark movies and more.
PolitiFaith, Sundays, 12 to 1.
We'll be right back. Sky Straister's coming up.